comments on the stage.
Okay. Let me see.
We are live.
We are live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. Now I'm going to see. Let's see. I need to be able. So let me go to my channel because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see the comments.
All right. You should be able to see them.
Okay.
Once they come through.
All right. It says upcoming. So we are actually live. Do I actually have to go live on my end?
No. It should already be live on your end.
Oh, okay. It says stream to this audience.
Hello, JC. Yes, stream to the audience. Yes, that's exactly what you want to do. Yes.
So it keeps saying it, but I guess it's a little green check. So that means I'm connected.
That's what it means.
Yes, ma'am. All right, let me go over here and see what's going on because I'm not seeing that I'm live yet.
Let's see. Let me go to your thing and say,
yeah, it's still saying upcoming.
On your YouTube?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, it says live. It's delayed. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we were doing some. Okay, yeah, I can see the comments. Hey, JC, how are you? L. Lewis, how are you? So glad to have you in the building. So I could see the comments coming in. I feel like
they made them where they're bigger now. You can choose big.
Okay, that's good. All right, so listen, we are glad to have you. I have a surprise. Well, surprise. I have the wonderful Harjarene in the building. So yeah, JC, at the last minute, I had decided, I said, well, so that Harjarene could get the watch hours as well, like y'all do with y'all Monday night backstage. Behind the scenes, so she graciously accepted to go ahead on and hook this up and lead the way so that so that she could get watch hours as well, because we know watch hours are so important. So y'all forgive me if I'm looking away. I feel like I'm a little sideways. I'm trying to turn myself in here a little bit, but I'm always looking at my laptop so I could see. And then I'm here facing you guys on my phone. But thank you so much for coming in and being a part of this wonderful live. I do have, like I said, the wonderful D Boss Way, Harjarene. So she has come into the YouTube community and taken it by storm, okay? By storm. Do you hear me? Just coming out the gate. And so I'm very much honored to have you here and for you to talk about your journey and whatever else it is that you want to talk about. Of course, my topic tonight is about how food is changing, and so we'll be sharing with that. And of course, we want to love to hear from you guys in the chat of how food, your GLP-1 is changing your attitude towards food. So we want to begin with any non-scale victories or any victories you have while we give everybody an opportunity to come on in, share any victories or any non-scale victories. If y'all saw my current video, I am 9.6 pounds down, Harjarene. Can you believe that?
Yes, I can believe it. Yes, good for you.
Listen,
that's wonderful.
That's 12.5. And shout out to Miss Toy the Review. She said, "Hey Kim J, sweet healthy life. So glad to have you." That 12.5 is the real deal. She could not be. First, I was kind of disappointed, like, oh, it's not as strong as everybody is saying it is. Yada yada yada. But Miss Toy the Review said, just give it a minute. You've only taken one injection, let it get in your system. And sure enough, when I took that second injection and I took it in my stomach, it really did the trick. Okay. I have not been thinking or eating as much. Let's put it that way. I haven't been
Okay.
eating as much because you just can't. So I wanted to talk about that in terms of GLP-1, but more importantly than that, I want to hear from Miss Harjarene Annette, who I lovingly used to call her Annette because I didn't know how to pronounce your name, and I definitely didn't want to mess it up. Hey, Felicia, how are you? Felicia Marie
Hello,
B is in the
Felicia.
building. Yeah, so I didn't want to mess up your name, but I am so glad to have you here. And we're just going to jump right in and get started. Let me
Okay.
get over here to, I got about 15 windows open, so let me close a couple.
Calamities on NSV.
Yes, okay,
That's a
let me
good
go
one.
back and see.
Calamity.
What was her NSV? Let's see. Let me see. What was it? I'm telling y'all, I got about 15 windows open. Let me make sure. Hold on one second. Let me get over here. Did I just close the wrong thing? What was her? I didn't see it. What was her non-scale victory?
She said she no longer has to turn sideways to get into her truck. She in her garage. She can go right through, just walk right through and get into it. That's good.
That's a beautiful non-scale victory.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
I had my DEXA scan done today, and I actually gained 2 pounds this Monday. I weigh on Mondays, and my DEXA scan came back good. So it came out really good. My visceral fat went up, but everything else, like my lean mass and all that, was up. My fat loss went down. So it's doing what it's supposed to do.
I know that's right. That's a good thing. Guys, don't forget to thumbs up the live, whether you're on the in Harjarene's or in this one, Low Carb Queen. Don't forget to thumbs up the live for me. Auntie Mama's Kitchen is in the building. So glad to see you. Miss Toy the Review is in the building.
Toy got us moving again, huh?
Yes. Toy definitely has everybody moving again. So true. So let me find my questions.
All right.
And then we're going to get started, okay? Let's see. So I hope y'all have had a good week so far. I hope that everything's been going well. Our weather is definitely changing over here in the Carolinas, but that's what I love about the Carolinas, that when the weather changes, it's very cold. Like this morning, it was 37. But then by the time the day was over, it was 70 something. It's about 73, the total opposite. So that's
how it is here in Texas. It wasn't 30, it was 50. And then that's cold to us. And then it was 80s, and later on in the day it was 80s.
Oh, okay.
Take my bicycle outside and go grab a bag of ice for my coffee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've been riding that bike. That's a good thing.
Oh, I haven't been riding in the last 2 weeks because of the weather.
Because of the weather. Okay. So to begin, tell us when you started your GLP-1 journey and what was one of the things that motivated you to start this GLP-1 journey?
I actually started my journey in November of 2022. And what made me start is because my kids were outside playing all the time, and I'd be looking out the window, looking at how much fun they're having. I want to go out there with them, but I would always tell myself I don't want to ruin it for them to have fun, because then I'd be out there saying, "Oh no, don't do that, you may fall," being very protective and everything. So I would just be looking at them out the window. But more importantly, I didn't have any energy to get out there with them and play around. So I told myself, you know what, Harjarene, this is the year. This is the year you're going to do something about everything, your mind, body, and soul. You're going to do something about it all. And I made an appointment with a doctor that actually dealt with obesity. So I made an appointment, and that appointment was going to cost me $300, they said. And I said, you know what? We're going to spend that $300. We're going to do this every month. Every month was going to cost $300. But when I got up there to them, they said, you want to use your insurance? I said, I sure do. I only have to pay a $25 copay. So that was one thing that was in the right place to me, because that changed, you know. And the doctor that I had, that I was seeing, he's a really good doctor. He's really good. So he turned me on to Mounjaro.
Okay.
He told me about Mounjaro. He wanted to do Mounjaro and mix it with like glycemia, with another thing, glycemia, Contrae, one of those, you know, he said. But I wasn't able to find Mounjaro because, you know, at that time it was a shortage.
Okay.
So I just waited around in a couple of days, and I went to Walgreens. And this is another sign that it was meant for me to start this journey, because I'm not a diabetic.
Okay.
I went to Walgreens and they filled that prescription.
Oh, wow.
And
Well,
I only had to pay $25 for that because of the coupon. It was $25.
Okay.
And
you know, go ahead.
And so I did that, got it for the next month, for that month. But when I went back for the next month, they didn't give it to me. The pharmacist said, you're not a diabetic. It doesn't say anything here about you being a diabetic. So we can't give it to you, which I don't blame. I would protect myself too, you know. So I wasn't able to get it from Walgreens. So you have pharmacists around here. I know probably I shouldn't throw them under the bus, but you have pharmacies that kind of be like, you know, hey, I turn a blind eye. So they found me a pharmacy that would get me the medication, and I got the medication. And then I ran into it again where that pharmacy stopped doing it. They stopped doing GLP-1s, period. I don't know if they got in trouble or what. Okay. So here I am again without the medicine. And finally, they found me another form. Well, actually, the representatives that come around, they actually got me a box from them while I was waiting to try to find a pharmacy that would give me the medication. And they finally found the pharmacy that would give me the medication. But the reason I started is because, like I said, I wanted to be out there with my kids. I wanted to have some energy to be out there playing around with them and enjoying life, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't really getting out the house. I was housebound. So I wanted to be able to get out the house and all of that, you know, just have the energy, the mindset to move around. And when I started that Mounjaro, it did just that. It changed my mindset. It's like it had some the triggers up in your brain to tell you, okay, you can do anything in the world. I don't know if that's how you feel about it on Mounjaro, but that's how it made me feel, like I could do anything in the world. It just like it worked well with my my medication. It worked well with my medication. My depression medication and anxiety medication. And yep.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, you made me think about how Miss Toy had mentioned, you know, that how there was a shortage, you know, coming out of COVID and everything. And, you know, I don't know if it had anything to do with COVID, but there was definitely a shortage. Hello to everyone in the chat. I see the chat is jumping. We have Get It Together Wellness. Hello, Downsizing Diva. So glad to have you. So glad to have you. Get It Together Wellness. So glad to have everybody in the chat. So Kim J says, kudos, me too, with not having to turn sideways to get into small places, nor do my husband have to pull out of the garage to let me in the passenger side. Well, it's been a minute, so kudos to you for that. So, okay, so you got on Mounjaro in 2022.
Yes.
So have you been on it nonstop for 3 years, or what?
No. 2023, the coupon expired.
Gotcha.
So I can no longer get it for $25. Well, I had lost 96 pounds by then. So I was like,
wait, pause.
Okay.
You lost 96 pounds on Mounjaro in 1 year.
Pounds. Okay. No, less than 1 year. Less than 1 year.
Okay. What was your highest dosage?
It was 10 milligrams.
Wow. Okay. That's phenomenal. Okay.
Yep, I didn't make it to the 12 and 15. I made it to the 10. I lost 96 pounds from November to June. I lost 96 pounds.
Okay. All
And
right.
the coupon expired, so I couldn't get it for $25 anymore. So I was like, well, shoot. I didn't heard all these stories about people gaining the weight back, but I didn't change my life. I'm running. I'm out here eating better. You know, I'm doing better. I can keep control of this, right? By myself. I can do this by myself, so I don't need it anyway. That was me. Yeah. Like I said, my jaw was working up in here along with my medication.
Right.
So it didn't come right away, but but when it did start back coming, when it started coming, it kept coming. The weight kept. But it wasn't because, you know, just say, I'm not going to blame Manjaro, it's because my eating habits picked back up. I was not eating any snacks and stuff like that. I went right on back to eating my snacks. The cravings they just came right on back. I'm an extreme binge eater, is what my doctor said. So the cakes and everything that I did not dismiss, I wasn't dismissing any of that anymore. So like I said, I gained weight back. And then they tried to put me on Wegovy. I got approved for Wegovy, but Wegovy, she started me at 7.5 milligram. What is that? It 7.5? Is that it?
See, I don't know about Wegovy. I just seen, you know, I've seen different content creators that talk about it.
It's 1.4. It's one. No, it's 1.4 and it's one. She started me out on the one before one.
Okay.
But she started me out at high dosage.
Okay.
And but it didn't work for me. I guess I can't say it didn't work for me because I didn't gain any more weight. I still stayed at 247. So I didn't gain any more weight, but I wasn't losing any weight either though.
Okay.
And I was still eating. I was still doing all the things that, you know, that I was doing when I got off of Manjaro. So it didn't help me any.
Okay.
So she told me she wanted me to see a sleep specialist because she knew that I said I snore and everything. You know, you asked all those questions and stuff. I saw a sleep specialist that December of that year. Sleep specialist in 24. In 2024, I saw a sleep specialist.
Okay.
And come to find out, I have obstructive sleep apnea.
Oh wow! So did they try to put you on Zepbound, or they let you get on?
They put me on Zepbound, and I got approved for it for sleep apnea. Okay. So January 11th or 10th or 11th of 2025 is when I started Zepbound. And so far, as of Monday, I've lost 61 pounds. As of Monday.
61 pounds. That's good. That's phenomenal.
Yep. I gained 2 pounds. So they put me back at 61. I was at 63, but now it's 61, but it's okay.
Yeah. So the Zepbound is Zeppin, as Tracy Swan says.
It's Zeppin. Yep. Zepbound is Zeppin.
We've got Darian in the building. We've got Joe Sleeping Slim Down, Journey. So glad to see y'all in the building. L. Lewis, if I didn't call your name. It's Darian, if I didn't call your name. The chat is moving, so I'm trying to keep up.
Yes, ma'am. You keep up.
So you have been on Zepbound and you've currently lost 61 pounds. What dosage are you on?
I'm on 12.5.
Okay, so I've heard, and I don't know if it's true in the chat. Please help us out. Help me out. I've heard that the dosage for Zepbound is different from the dosage for Manjaro. Do you know anything about that? Is that true or not?
Now, Manjaro worked for me. Manjaro, when I say a sweet better not even come close to me, Manjaro is going to kick it out.
I wish that worked for me. It worked.
That's how it was for me.
But go ahead.
Now, when it comes down to Zepbound, I may not go and get that snack, that sweet, but it still come real close to me. It don't try to kick it back. It comes close to me. Now, when it comes down to vegetables, it kick it back. The greens, it kicks all that back. Like, get away from her, you know? But it's you have, in other words, Zepbound, I have to fight a little bit harder. Okay. With Manjaro, I didn't have to fight at all. It just happened. It just happened. It just flowed. So to me, that's a difference. Even though it's the same medication, they say. To me, Manjaro worked differently than Zepbound for me.
Okay. So, excuse me, I have several questions here. You've answered You've answered a couple of them all in one, but I'll double back. So how would you describe, because you've been on it, you've been on Mounjaro, you were off, you've been on you're now on Zepbound. How would you describe the real process of this medication? And this is a across the board question versus the expectation that people hear about. We all have talked about this.
We have to do our part. It's not a magic pill. We want it to be a magic pill, but it's not. It can't do all the work by itself. And there are some people who have said that it has done all the work, and they didn't do anything except take it. Good for you. But from what we go through, all of us, from my understanding from all of us, we have to do our part. We can't not change something and lose the weight. We have to change. We have to also change. We have to meet it halfway. In other words, I can't be still drinking alcohol and want to lose weight. I can't be coming over here eating all the chips, 4-5 bags of chips, and think I'm going to lose weight. That's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
So we have to do our part with it. It's not a magic pill like we'd like it to be. It's not.
Absolutely. JC says that the doses of Mounjaro and Zepbound are the same dosing schedule. Okay.
Yes, they are.
You said that. Okay.
They are.
Absolutely.
I just say for me, they worked differently for me.
Okay.
I feel like I did not have to struggle. I feel like I struggle a little bit with Zepbound. I didn't have to struggle at all with Mounjaro.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's because that was the first time I took a GLP-1 or, since this is the third round of taking a GLP-1, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know if that has something to do with it or not.
Okay. So what specific changes have you made in your eating habits or your daily routine that help support your progress? What any specific changes that you've made? Like, do you meal prep?
I stopped moving. I don't meal prep. I did try to meal prep. I did try it. And that's me having my husband do it for me. I was trying it, but he can't do it if I don't go bring the stuff to him. Get the stuff when to do it. So, but yes, I've changed the way I eat. So in other words, I just try to stay away from things like chips, because if I eat 1 bag of chips, I'm going to want 2 bags of chips. Maybe even 3 bags of chips. So I try to stay away from all that. Like I said, we have to do our part.
Absolutely.
I have not been eating vegetables, but I've been eating my protein. I get my protein in. I get my fiber through my drinks and stuff like that, like the chai, coffee, like my fruit. I do eat fruit. I just didn't want any green vegetables. So I did change that. I don't eat the cakes and all that kind of stuff like that, candy and all that. I don't do any of that. I don't have sodas. I don't drink any sodas.
Yeah, I'll cut those out.
I drink plenty of water, and I move. I get my exercise in.
Okay. All right. Downsizing Diva says they are the same medication, trizepatide. A diabetic may respond differently. Yes, thank you for that. So are you, you are not diagnosed as diabetic?
I'm not diabetic. No, I'm not diabetic.
All right. So that's a wonderful thing. I've always, like I said previously, my doctor and I were on the fence about that. I was always pre-diabetic, but once I hit like that 6.5, she's like, it's official. So I just sort of said to myself, all right, I'm going to let you call me diabetic. Maybe I had a piece of candy before I walked in this doctor's office, but I'm going to let you call me diabetic so I can get this medication.
There you go. There you go.
There are a lot of people who are nervous about this medication. You get all kinds of opinions. Before I asked you this question, I was in Felicia Marie's live, and listen, somebody asked, I think it was Michelle's Mirror, asked her about her future with the GLP-1. And let me tell you, Felicia said, hands down, unequivocally, I am going to be on the GLP for the rest of my life. And she had no doubts or no hesitations about it. Okay. And I was just like, I was taken aback by it. But, she was just like, look, I was obese for years. So guess what? As long as this medication is around and it's doing the job for me, I'm okay with it. Everybody has to respond differently. So what do you say to people who say, or what advice, would you say to people who are like nervous about starting it or feel like, I can do this by myself. I don't want to have to use a medication for help or whatever. Like some people are thinking about it and people are weighing the odds. What would you say to them?
I would tell them to try it and see how it does for you. And then come back and make your decision about, hey, I don't need no medication. I can do
Mm-hmm.
this on my own. Now I'm with Felicia. I'm going to be
Mm-hmm.
on this medication for the rest of my life. I want to be on it for the rest of
Mm-hmm.
my life because I know
Mm-hmm.
how my mind works. And with my mind, without it, I know they say it's us, and it is us doing the work and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a really good mix with my medication. It's a good mix. Without it, I didn't remember I'd already been there and tried that without it.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work out so well. So
Mm-hmm.
this time I would, as long as the insurance is paying for it, better yet, insurance don't have to pay for it. As long as I can afford it, then
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep the medication. I'm gonna keep taking the medication. Now, what I would tell somebody is to try it. Try it. I mean, you've been trying to do this on your own and it's not working. Try somebody else's way.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
feel like it's not working for you or it makes you sick or anything like that, or you don't think you can take the shots, then you make your decision. But
Mm-hmm.
try it. There's a whole bunch
Absolutely.
of us out here that are proof that it works, and we're
Yeah.
happy.
I'm gonna tell y'all now. Forgive me because the chat is jumping. So forgive me if I don't get to everybody's comments. If you really want your comment to be heard, then put a couple of emojis or something in front of it so I can catch it. Rebecca Romeo. I hope I'm saying your name right. Hey, welcome to the live. She says, hey, Queen and Harjarene, both of you are an inspiration, and I love all that you are addressing. I'm 69, also work part time for the schools in North Carolina, like the Queen.
Uh oh, uh
Get out. I have lost 42 pounds on Z in
oh.
62 weeks. Congratulations.
Yes,
Congrats.
congratulations.
Yes, indeed. Kim J says, I can say the same. I can be on it forever. I need insurance to pay for mine. I came into this journey thinking like, okay, I'm going to jump in and jump out. It's not going to take me long, yada, yada, yada. But that's because I thought, like so many people thought, that it was a miracle, a miracle drug, a miracle tool, whatever. But I can see now that I'm going to definitely be on it longer. I would like to, at some point do like Miss Toy the review. I feel like she has great Toy. I feel like you have great discipline because she is taking an
Yes,
injection every other week. And she's been doing that for a long, long time. So that's where I'm trying to get to,
correct.
just to, eventually we'll see what happens.
Even if
But
it's once a month, if it works for you, once a month,
right.
just stay by my side. Stay by my
Yes.
side.
You definitely have to do what works for us individually.
Right.
Okay, so what about, so you're on the medication, you take the injection weekly. Do you find, the food noise, as people call it, do you find that when it's near injection time, you become hungry or the food noise gets
Yes.
louder? You
Yes.
do?
Yes.
Okay.
So what I did was I took it in my own hands and I started taking my injection every 5 days instead of every 7 days.
Stop the press.
I did. Sure did.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
If something happened, then it happened. It is what it is. But
Well,
I take my injection every 5 days instead of 7 days. And I
okay.
hope I'm not alone.
I've heard a couple people say they took it a little bit earlier,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
do. I do. But guess what? It really, like they say, the fourth day,
Hmm.
then the noise come back. So either way it go, whether you take it 5 days or 7 days, it still come
Mm.
back. Well, for me, it does anyway. A little chatter.
I can tell when I'm like, more hungrier than usual. And then I think about like, okay, yeah, it's getting like that day before or something like that. And it's not even, I don't know if it's because I'm old school, but it's not even saying hungrier for me. It's saying my, I guess, self-control is
Being
weakening,
tested. Being tested.
because
Let's say being tested.
yes, it's definitely weakening, towards the end of when it's almost time for my shot, as opposed to me having better willpower on the shot. And so I think one of the things, when we talk about, how our food has changed, I think one of the things that addresses that is, what everybody is talking about, the trizepatide. It literally has a appetite suppressant, and y'all jump in the chat and correct me, but it does have that appetite suppressant. And so this is for all the experts out there.
Right.
Where it says the GLP-1 and brain connection acts on the hypothalamus, the appetite and reward centers, the dopamine. So food no longer triggers the same feel good signals. And so I think that's why, I have to have some type of logic for why things happen for me. It doesn't always mean I'll get it. But for me, that sort of explains why, like we're saying, towards the end, when it's time for my injection again, my dopamines must be up. I must, they must be winning over the medication, in other words. So again, that's why I say having that discipline to say no, because the nurse practitioner told me that it only stays in your system about 7 days. So, when it's time for that injection again, that explains why, again, we might be getting hungrier. And again, kudos to Toy, who is able to keep that suppression again for an additional week. I think that's good. Let me jump over here real quick and see. Harjarene, let's see. Downsizing Diva says, I have to jump off. Great conversation. Great to have you.
I was just going to mention her name. She told me about an app called PEP. You go up there, how much stays in your system. And I took my injection yesterday, and it's telling me that I have an estimated level of 10.41 milligrams left in my system.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, it's an app called PEP that Downsizing Diva told us about. And yeah, it tells you about an estimate of how much medicine is still in your system.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. And guys, if you type "get low" in the chat, you should be able to share your channel. If you're a content creator and you want to share your channel, lowercase "get low" in the chat. Kim J says, Harjarene, you are not alone. Not me, of course, but others are doing the same. Hey, and the chat is moving. Let me go back up here. She said you. She said, in other words, she's saying you're not alone.
Right.
She said she can't, with her issue, she couldn't do that if she wanted to. Let's see, JC says, that's the days I get these things like barley and high fiber foods in me to help with the slower digestion and feeling full.
That makes sense.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a good strategy. Thank you. I'll try that.
Joe Sleepy Slim Down Journey says, have a great live. Oh, she's saying to Downsizing Diva. Calamity Jane is saying, have a wonderful live. Let's see. L. Lewis says, Mounjaro, excuse me, can cost around $1,200 to $1,400 per month. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
without insurance. Wow. Depending on the dosage in pharmacy. So far, a 3-month supply, the total of roughly $3,889.16 aligned with the current. Did she not give us all of that? Downsizing Diva, please type "get low" in before you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said she loves that you're using that. It's an app called PEP, P-E-P.
Yeah, PEP. It's called PEP, P-E-P, and it tells you an estimate of how much is still in your system.
Okay. Calamity put that in there for us. It's on Apple devices. And Shotzi. JC says Shotzi also.
Okay.
Listen, I'm so grateful. I was paying a $40 copay, and then I went and it was free. I don't know if I reached a certain age or whatever, but I asked the pharmacist, he was like, don't worry about it, it's free.
Yep, that's right. That's right. That's correct.
JC says that hurts to Lewis. That hurts when I see the numbers. Yes, that's a lot of money for
Yeah,
real,
it is
for
a lot of
real.
money. It is a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Okay. Have you experienced any plateaus?
I don't think it's been a plateau, but I was before I hit 189. I was going back and forth between 204 and 207. I just kept going back and forth, 204 and 207. And so it took me a long time to get under 199, to get to 199. It took a while
Okay.
for that.
Okay.
Could be something I was doing. Like I said, I don't eat vegetables. I haven't been eating any vegetables, just eating protein. Drinking plenty of water. But I guess it just wanted to play. So, and I moved, so it just, so I guess you could say then, because it lasted for a while. It lasted for at least a month. It kept doing that for at least a month. So I don't know if that's plateau or not, but it did. But once I hit that 189, as you see, I'm going down. The scale is going down. So
yeah. Yes. I mean, some people call it a plateau, some people call it a stall. I saw Alonda, her latest video or thumbnail was like, what do you do? She's been in a stall for about 8 to 10 months.
Oh yeah, so a stall or a plateau? Stall?
What, I'm not sure. Like,
me either.
I'm not sure what's the difference. Somebody give us the difference between a stall and a plateau. I kind of think of them, as the same, but I'm calling mine a stall. I was in a stall for a minute. I think I was on like 2.5 or 5.0, but this recently, one of the reasons why I think I lost 9.6 pounds this week. I know that's a lot of weight, but I had to trick my body. We have to do what
That's
works for us.
right.
So
That's right.
I did 3 days of intermittent fasting, and that just like that hit that reset button. I think our bodies, especially, as being an obese person for myself, I think our bodies are just used to holding on. The body to me has a mind of its own. And
It
so
does.
it's used to holding on to all of this weight. And so it reaches a point to say, okay, well, I'm going to slow everything down. I'm not going to allow any more weight to be taken away until I figure out exactly what's going on. I know.
Right.
That's just how I think.
9.6 pounds. Maybe it is a lot, but it's gone. We ain't gonna worry about how or when. It's gone.
Absolutely. But like I said, I had to reset my body. You know what I mean? And you had to do it. If I let 16, 17 hours pass between my last meal and my first meal, that's that intermittent fasting for me. It's definitely going to reset my body. And so I'm grateful for that.
I've been doing intermittent fasting since 2021.
Okay. Wow.
16/8.
Okay, 16/8. Yes. Let's see. Kim J says, yes, Jane, getting the right amount of fiber helps with fullness and those having constipation too. Check your dietitian and your doctors. Yes, please do. Check all doctors and dietitians because, we're just chatting. Okay, here we go. Kim J is bringing us hey, the Perrin family. Hey, Nancy, how are you? Great to have you in the building. Yes, I know you on a weight loss journey too. Kim J says a stall is a specific type of plateau, often defined by a fixed period of no change, such as a weight loss stall lasting 3 weeks or more. And then a plateau is a period of no significant progress, even when following the same methods. Okay.
So stall.
She put in a disclaimer per Google. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
So it was a stall.
Yes. Please type get low in the building. If you're in the building, type get low so that you can connect your channel. I think you can also type exclamation protein. The get low is just from my song, y'all.
The song that we love. Get low.
What's your proudest non-scale victory? I've heard you say it before, but I think go ahead.
No, go help me out.
I heard you say like you could get out there and play with your kids.
Yes, I can do that. I get out the house, period. I've been driving myself to school. Because at one point, like I said, I even ordered my groceries and everything. I had everything coming in. I wasn't leaving the house. But I am getting out the house now. I'm driving myself. Been in school for almost 2 years. 2 years now. And gonna be finished in January. I'll be done after the spring. I'll be done with that. So
okay, that's for real estate, correct?
For real estate, yes.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I'm proud of that. But more importantly, I'm proud that I'm getting out the house. I'm fixing myself up, able to get out there and play around with the kids, or even in the house. I even don't play in the house. I'd rather be in the house, to be honest with you, than outside sometimes. So,
so do you take your injections in the morning or in the evening?
In the morning when I get up.
Okay, so you take them on an empty stomach.
No, I take them on an empty stomach.
Okay, I'm interested to see in the chat what you saying. What are you saying? I know.
Yeah, we never talked about that on an empty stomach or not an empty stomach. I haven't heard anyone ask that.
Miss Toy mentioned. She recommended taking it after, like, on a full stomach. Now this is the thing. When I took my 12, because I normally would do either take it at night before I go to bed or in the morning when I get up. I'm focusing on trying to remember. Okay, so I took it my first 12.5. And I took it after I had eaten. And, I was a little bit disappointed when I was saying, oh, I don't think it's as strong. But the second one that I took that bad boy in the morning on an empty stomach, in my stomach, because normally I take it in my thigh.
I take mine in my stomach.
Morning. Yeah, and I took that one in my stomach. So I was just like,
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. Try to do it. I'm gonna eat something and try it. I don't mind trying. I'll try anything at least once.
Let's see. Everybody's laughing with Kim J. Kendi K. Kendi K is in the building. She said we all experts in nothing. I know that's right. JC says I take mine on an empty stomach, but I have had some water. Yeah.
Kim J. I have some water. Yeah, I have some water. So I guess it's not that empty. I have water.
Yeah, because you got me drinking water when I get up.
Yes, ma'am.
I always keep this, and I try to fill it up on the weekends when I don't go to work. But
put it next to your bed. Put it next to your bedside.
Yeah, well, I keep a bottle of water, and so I can take that in the morning. I've been very conscious about that lately. And you just once somebody puts a thought in your mind, you can eventually follow through. Kendi K says, I'm just
they say you do it before your body wakes up. When you do things, you do it before your body wakes up. So you get up first thing in the morning, do something that you don't think you'll do later on. Do it that morning because your body hasn't woken up yet.
Yes, absolutely. So I know we talked about a couple of other things. I wanted you to, again, we're going to talk a little bit about where the overeating process took place. Some people talk about, what caused them to overeat, while others may not think, anything is symptomatic or whatever the case may be. But, some people have a history attached to maybe why they overate, or maybe some people never even thought about it. What is your take on some of that? Is there anything that you thought about that led you to overeat in the first place?
I've always eaten a lot. My therapist and I last month came up with, we talked about my childhood. And we were poor. I'm just gonna put it out there. We were poor. So sometimes we went to bed hungry. We didn't have anything to eat. And sometimes we may have had a bag of chips. And I'm sorry, Mama, if you're out here listening, I'm just putting it out there. So I also had aunts who would actually feed their kids in front of me without offering me any of their food. So my therapist is saying that that's where the trauma with food happened for me, childhood.
And that's,
they used to call me Mikey because they used to call me Mikey because they I was always eating and skinny, always eating, But like I said, my therapist seems to think that happened, that trauma happened. Me wanting to eat all the time came from my childhood.
That's very valid. That is absolutely very valid. My my current husband had said to me one time, you've never been hungry. And I was like, yes, I have. What are you talking about? He was like, no, you've never been hungry. You've never gone a day or 2 days or 3 days not knowing, what you're going to eat, where your next meal is coming from,
Right.
because, he was big on like not wasting food, that type of thing. I did grow up, when I was with my grandparents, where you had to eat everything on your plate. You could not get up from the table if you didn't eat everything on your plate. So subsequently, I didn't pass that on to my children, but I often hated to waste food that they left on their plate. It's like you hate to waste it. It's a big thing. And I have, of course, since gotten over that. Like I can't, having 5 daughters, you can't eat every little thing that somebody leaves, or don't
Right.
waste it, that type of thing. So that's a real and valid thing. Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that. Let me see. Okay. Let's see. Felicia says, I struggled with food, financial insecurities too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Miss Toy said, I only eat high protein on shot day and water, nothing greasy or carbs. Okay. All right. So you said you struggled with not having enough food, and then just the idea of family members eating in front of you. That was a situation too.
Yep. And
Um,
then I don't know if I ever told you or you was in a live or something, but then I was sexually assaulted.
I do remember you saying that. Go ahead.
Food became my best friend. So food versus drugs or anything else, I'm glad food was my best friend.
Absolutely.
I would sleep and eat. I'd sleep, wake up to eat, go back to sleep. So
And
that's
so
what
how
it did to me. It made me sleep and eat. But I was still skinny.
I was about to ask you that. Like, were you
I was still skinny. I didn't gain weight until I had my second child. And I was 126 pounds before I got pregnant. Well, before I was pregnant with him. When I had him, I was 148 pounds. So that's still small. However, I thought it was big, because I didn't want to be as skinny as I was, but so 148 was just right. But to me, I needed to lose some weight, even at that. But anyway,
so were you
I
in
didn't
your
start
20s,
gaining weight.
your 30s?
I didn't start gaining weight until I moved back to Texas. I moved to Alabama. I stayed in Alabama for 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When I moved back to Texas, I moved back to the same town that it happened in.
Wow.
And that put me in a depression. I didn't want to go out the house. Once again, I didn't want to go out the house. If my husband wasn't with me, I wasn't going. I wasn't getting out. It was, they say when something happens to you, you're doing things that you don't even realize that's the reason why. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started gaining all the weight. I did lose some weight on my own, like 30 pounds 1 year, but I gained it all back. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I didn't gain a lot of weight when I had her. I was still kind of thin, but I still had my big belly, with her. But I started gaining all my weight then, and from that point, it just kept going and 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 going. Kept gaining the weight. And like I said, finally in 2022, I said, you know what? We can't do this no more. 257 pounds is what I got up to. So we can't do this anymore. I was miserable. Absolutely miserable.
So you moved back to Texas, and you were around 148. And so from Texas to 2022, how much time was that before you got to 250? 5 years?
I moved to Texas in 2011.
Okay. So that was
And,
11 years.
right, but I moved to Texas in 2011, but I didn't live in my hometown. I moved to Houston.
Okay.
Okay, but when I moved to my hometown and at the end of 2012, so just say 2013, the weight just started coming on.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
depressed. I got back into my depression, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Well, it never left, but I got deeper into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's because I was in the same town as my predator. I know that's what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I didn't want to leave out the house without my husband with me, you know, or if I'm
Mm-hmm.
with my mom and them, I didn't want to go out the house by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So 2013 all the way up to 2020, 2021, 2022, when I started wanting to do something about it. So that was what, 9 years? The weight
Okay.
came on within 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so you were kind of focusing or saying that, okay, you're using your food as a cushion or
Comfort
a
food,
tool of
cushion.
comfort.
If
Yes.
I did something great, let's go out to eat. You know, it was all about food. It always
Mm-hmm.
had been.
Yes. Let me check the chat. Let's see. Kim J said, I never had an issue taking Manjaro with or without food. I do not have to front load with extra protein. Okay. Perrin family says, awesome discussion. Kim J says, I hear others have to front load protein. It still amazes me how we can be on the GLP-1 same
No.
medication and it hits us differently. Yet some things are similar. Absolutely, because our bodies are different. You know, our backgrounds are different. How
Right.
we've dealt with
Backgrounds
food
are
is
different is
different.
one thing. That's right. That's right.
Absolutely. Doses of Shani is in the building. Hey, how are you? She said, I try to load up on protein. I do notice that when I eat more protein, I'm not as hungry. Kim J says, JC is speaking to Kim J. Yes, we have different chemistry and genetics. Absolutely. Toy says, wow, you have an amazing testimony. I'm sorry that happened to you, Harjarene.
Thank y'all.
Yes. JC says siblings that have done DNA tests get shocked how chemically different they are. Absolutely. So, what would you say? I know we're taking a shift, a little bit from GLP-1 to talk about, things like abuse, depression, things that have happened to us that may cause us to use eating as a tool or as a comfort. And like you said, a lot of the justification is, well, I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm not getting high, I'm not doing these things. It's just a chocolate bar or whatever the case may be. So in reference to say depression, how have you handled, or how did you handle depression?
Well, I started back saying I found me a therapist because I just moved to the Dallas area in 2020.
Okay.
I moved to the Dallas area in 2020. And I found me a therapist when I decided that in 2022, when I decided that I was going to go in mind, body, and soul. That's when I got me a therapist. And so of course, I'm on medication because I have major depression, I have PTSD, anxiety, ADHD, and a couple of more other things because of what happened to me. And look, I got ADHD, like I said, Miss Kim. Did you ask me a question?
No, I'm listening. You said you have ADHD. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was just telling you all the things that I have going on with me. If it was a question, I forgot it.
That's okay. I was asking, how did you deal with it? How you dealt with these things. You said you got a therapist.
I take medication and I see my therapist.
And you see your therapist. Absolutely.
And I have all of y'all to talk to.
Absolutely. I know one thing that we talked about, and this to me is vitally important. If it's okay, you had said that previously people told you, just seek God.
Yes. Yes.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Yes. I didn't start getting therapy until 2003 when I had lost my child. Uh, it wasn't developing. I was like 3 months pregnant. Baby wasn't developing. So my doctor said, "Hey, we can go ahead and terminate the pregnancy because it's not going to develop." So that put me in a depression. I think it's because it was something that I couldn't control. What happened to me, I couldn't control that. You know what I'm saying? So anything I couldn't control, I think that took me into, what do you call it, postpartum depression.
Okay.
Okay. And so I was driving down the road on my way to work, and I could see myself just swerving on into traffic. It's a peaceful way to go. Just swerving on into traffic. And I was telling my doctor about it, and she told me that she wants me to see a therapist. She said, because you said you wanted to go peacefully, but what about the person in the other car? And I said, well, I don't want to hurt anybody else. I don't even know if I don't know. I just felt like could see myself swerving into another lane. And, I don't know if I really thought it through or not. Just
right.
what happened. But ever since then, I've been in and out of therapy since 2003. But before then, I never went to therapy or anything because people would say, just seek God. You just need to talk to God. Just talk to God. Well, I talked to God, and I would sleep just to talk to God. You know what I mean? And so because they would say that didn't make me want to go talk to a therapist or anything like that,
Yes.
But I'm glad that I did start. And like I said, even though I was in and out, I always knew that when I got to where I couldn't handle it by myself, to go back. Now, I've talked to a lot of therapists. This is the first time. Maybe it's maturity, or maybe my mind has changed. Something's changed in my mind or whatever. But this therapist that I'm with now, I'm spending money that's good money. In other words,
all right.
I'm
listening. I'm looking in the chat.
The best money that I ever spent, because she is the one who's breaking it down to me, bringing back memories that I suppressed, that I didn't talk about. She's getting all of that out of me so that I can get to the bottom and try to get my mind and get healthy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm looking into the chat. Let's see. Auntie Mama says, absolutely, Annette, to have both to talk with, have me to talk with. Let's see. Doses of Shine says, I was on the other chat. Okay. Let's see. Felicia says, oh my God, I love your name. Okay, she's talking about somebody else. So let me say, first of all, thank you for sharing this portion, and thank you for being transparent. Absolutely. And thank you for being honest and transparent about your journey and how you made it through. And also, like, when people, as a believer myself, even as a pastor, people, it's of course people's levels of faith and all of that. But like I said previously, Luke was a physician, okay? And he was on Jesus's team. So I think everything happens for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? So people ought not be afraid to seek any kind of doctor or professional help that they may need. And for some, seeing a psychiatrist or psychologist or anything on that level is a little bit taboo. But if you need the help and you want to do it, then absolutely. Secondly, I want to say, you know what? I appreciate you sharing this, because so many people have untold stories, Harjarene. They will never share it with anybody. They will compartmentalize it. They will put it in a box. They will do whatever they can. And so, for you, we don't know who will listen to this, who will play the replay, for you to even begin to associate some of the things that you've gone through and been through with the weight in and of itself, that's courageous. You know what I mean? Because, everybody who's ever been addicted does not want to associate it with anything. You know what I mean? Regardless of what the addiction is, whether it's
we want to blame ourselves, like nothing ever happened, like we did it on our own. And that's not the case.
And it may not ever be the case, it may, and then again, it just depends, because that's why everybody's journey is different. Some people, might not Like I've heard people say when you talk about like a drug addiction, well, I just wanted to try it. I wanted to try and see what it was like. And the next thing I know, I got hooked, so it could be social reasons. It could be personal reasons. It could be anything. But the fact that you talk about it and share it and enlighten us on the journey and your complete recovery, for me, is a blessing. It's an absolute blessing. And so I want to thank you for that. Let's see, Miss of the Perrin family, working through grief is not easy, and it's not one and done. Talking about it with someone absolutely helps. Do what is working for you, absolutely, because if you've never been in those any of those shoes of starvation, abusive situations, if you've never been in that, then you just can't. It's difficult to relate. Right. Kim J says, I've learned as I continue to grow that some people need both spiritual and professional counsel. Absolutely. Right. And I've always said, look, listen, if we're going to talk spiritual, you need saved doctors, saved nurses, you need saved counselors. They may not ever talk about their faith, in the operating room, but you need all of that because they are able to see the spiritual and the natural. Mia says, I don't feel that way anymore. But there's a lot of us that have had bouts with very dark feelings. Okay. Let me see, because the chat is jumping. Kim J says, and you don't have to wait until everything is detergent. Even people who are okay may need to have someone to speak to often proactively, do to prevent issues later. Absolutely. It's you can definitely be proactive. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, for some generations and some cultures, getting any type of therapy has been taboo, but guess what? That's over.
Yeah. I actually have two therapists. I actually have two. I have two therapists. One that I see every 2 weeks, and one that I see like he's the one who does my medication management. I see him like every 3 months. So I have two.
And listen, we'll talk again because and I've shared some things with you previously, but it's an absolute necessity, and it's an absolute must, because people do not address and talk about mental health at all, and it really needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about more than it is, because we need our mental health to really function. We need our mental health, and it's vitally important. And so again, I appreciate you for sharing. Let's see. Doses of Shani says, yes, professional therapy is needed. I was in therapy for 7 years and will go back for tune-ups when needed. Yes.
That's right.
Kudos.
That's right.
Kudos to you for that. Absolutely. And now they have where you can go online. You can talk to a therapist online.
That's where I've talked to my therapist online. I went to visit her office once because we were trying to get me. I get real nervous, and so we was trying to break that, and go to her office. And I did good. I drove myself and I went to her office, and I told her, she's like, okay, just let me know you're ready. I said, I'll let you know when I'm ready again. I haven't been back. It's just easier for me to talk to her online. And like I told her, me coming to see you, I did that for you. I didn't do it for me. I did it for you. You understand what I'm saying?
And I commend you because
for me being honest with her. Thank you for being honest with me. She said, I don't want you to do anything that you don't want to do, I didn't want to go. And I didn't want to go to her office. I'm in my little box, and she get more out of me, in other words, in my box.
Well, listen, you being on this platform, you starting your YouTube journey, is definitely a testament to you coming out of the box.
Yeah, I'm
definitely
trying.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. Auntie Mama is saying, thank you both for being here and allowing us to be in your presence with such a great discussion. Oh, Auntie Mama, you may not think it helps, but it does help a lot of people just to hear and know they're not alone. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Parent says, yeah, the parent family says, that's right, Auntie Mama. Because, everybody wants to give that snapshot, which is a perfect picture.
Right.
That's my, if you want to say it, dissatisfaction with social media. You get so many snapshots of what people want you to see, and it's just not always like that. And
Right.
it doesn't mean that everybody is a sharer or everybody has to share everything. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that you're willing to share. Absolutely. Let me see. Kim J says, it's how I felt about illness. I was brought up to call on Jesus, the healer. Well, he is the healer, but even though I believe Jesus heals me, I still need to do what I need to do physically.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Kim J, come
Right.
through. She
Faith
said, faith
without
without
works. Right.
works.
Right.
I know that's right. Is
Yep.
dead.
I do know that one.
Yeah,
Faith
because you got
without
to
work is
do.
dead.
Yeah, we have to do all that we know how to do within our power. It's only when we relinquish or don't have any control, like you said, over a situation, then we can go to God. But if we have control to go to the doctor or whatever the case may be, then absolutely. Is there something you want to say? Because I know you had trauma, and I know, I would love to, I have spoken to youth over the years. I don't remember. I think I want to say you were in your teens, or
I was
when
15.
you, yeah, when you talked about the trauma, 15 years old. What is it? And like I said, I've spoken to you, so I know about it very well. What would you say to somebody young or old or in between who has experienced a trauma and maybe still secretly dealing with it, maybe putting a smile on their face, but behind closed doors, they're dealing with that trauma? What would you say to them? And of
I would
course, this
tell
is
them.
just your
I would
opinion.
tell
Go
them
ahead.
to tell someone. If you don't want to go see a therapist or a doctor or anyone like that professionally, tell a friend. But get it out your system. Get it out your system. My husband was the first person I told. It took me 13 years before I told anybody about it. And he was the person that I told about it.
Wow. Wow.
When I told him about it, I started living it because I blocked it. So it's like it happened all over again. But I am
Mercy.
so glad that I did get it out of my system, though.
Mm-hmm.
I did get it out of my system. Even though, like I said, it's taking me down the road. I'm still glad that I told him about it and got it out of my system. It was like we were just riding down the road, and all of a sudden I just blurted out what happened to me. It was like I was out of my body or something,
Mm-hmm.
telling him all about it. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
told him about it because I want him to understand where I'm coming from. I,
Absolutely.
I may do some things or say some things that I'm just trying to protect myself, in other words. That's where it's coming
Abs-
from. But I would
Absolutely.
tell them, tell somebody. And if you're in a situation like I was in, go to the law, go to the law enforcement. Because I found out recently that I was not alone.
Mm-hmm.
I was not alone. He was actually the town rapist, the
Oh my
town,
gosh.
so many other people. And they didn't say anything either. They didn't say anything either. Now he's deceased now. He died from cancer.
Jesus.
But none of us told. None of us
Mm.
told.
Isn't
Now I
that?
probably would have told y'all, but the man dropped me off at home like we had a date.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And my stepfather was on the porch that night, and he said to me, "Where you going with your fast self?" Because they
Mm.
called you fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if he's saying that to me, everybody else is going to think that about me.
Mm-hmm.
I went in the house. I couldn't bathe because we didn't have no water. You understand?
Yes.
I looked in the mirror and I became somebody else the next day.
My God.
Just like that. I let that fly over my head. I put it buried it so far back. And after that, I had to protect me. Nobody else was going to do that for me. I had to do
Mm-hmm.
that myself. I had to grow up faster. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So tell somebody, preferably the law, because I think it goes for so long that you can tell. So tell the law first, and then you can tell your friends or family or whoever else. But if that person is still around, get him off the street, because he's not just doing that to you, he's doing it to somebody else as well, or he's going to do it to somebody else. It's a sickness. They can't help themselves. So
Mercy.
That's what I would say.
Wow. And even the fact that you would classify that person as having a sickness and can't help themselves, that's a olive branch of mercy towards them. You are to be commended for that. My goodness. Auntie Mama says she's got to go. She really hates to. Let's see, Dose is shining, but people will think something is wrong with speaking to a therapist or taking meds for your mental health. That's ignorance. Doses of shiny come through. Yes, absolutely. Because if you've never experienced mental illness, if you've never lived with somebody who's had a mental illness or has a mental illness, then you don't know. I mean, it's just like somebody saying, I have my leg is broken or my leg is fractured, but I'm good. I'm gonna walk on it. I'm gonna adapt to it. I mean, how ridiculous is that? But we do not equate mental illness. It's a physiological change in our brain that causes different types of mental illness, and we don't acknowledge that. People don't know it, and nor do they acknowledge it. So, of course, growing up, like you said, if you even talked about a depression or anything, oh, get up, or pray or something like that. So, the fact, like I said, that you're bringing it and discussing it even on the GLP-1 platform, is amazing to me. And again, I appreciate you for it. Hey, Bellflower, how are you? Yes, Bellflower says, yes, Harjarene, release it. There's a freedom in it. You better come through.
It is.
Yes. Kim J says, it's been said that it's a part of healing as you speak it out loud, so the devil won't keep a hold on us through fear or keep us quiet to kill, steal, and destroy. Yeah, I saw JC said something earlier. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Kim J says he's a liar. Yeah, she done crossed over. I hear it. Even though I see the text, I hear it in the spirit. She done crossed over. He's a liar. She's yelling. JC says, if you or someone you know has experienced sexual assault, you are not alone.
You are not alone.
Yeah, she put in RAINN's National Sexual Assault Hotline is free. Go ahead, Calamity. Kim J says, thanks for sharing. May God help you continue in your healing, Harjarene. Bellflower says to JC, yes, so glad you posted that. Yes, it's vitally important. Listen, if I were near you, I would give you the biggest hug.
I feel your hug now. I can feel it.
Because of the bravery, you know what I mean? Because of the bravery of it all, not to mention the recovery, but the bravery of it all.
I'm still recovering after all these years. I'm still recovering,
but you
I'm
know
getting
what?
Stronger every day.
You haven't allowed what has happened to you, like many people on the platform whose story we may never hear. You haven't allowed it to overshadow you. You know what I'm saying? You're still, I'm talking about, the loving personality, your kindness, your ability to move forward and have a family, all of that. You haven't allowed what has happened to you, the resilience of it, to overshadow you,
Right.
So that in and of itself is phenomenal. That's phenomenal, Harjarene. You never cease to amaze me. Never cease to amaze me. JC says, you two need to do this once a month. Joe, Hermione, and I will share Harjarene. She said she'll share you with me. Oh, listen, absolutely. We can definitely talk about it. Let's see. So I think, let me see. Let me get back over here. Bring us back into GLP-1. I appreciate you so much for sharing your journey and the whole aspect of it, because it all plays a part.
It all
I
boils down to what happened to me. Is why I overeat, why I became a binge eater. It's all of
absolutely,
that.
absolutely. I was thinking today, like, I yesterday, when I got on a scale on Tuesday and I saw that I had lost that much weight, I was so happy. And listen, y'all, I was trying my very best to not reward myself with food. Now, 12.5 is doing what it's supposed to do, but my natural obesity instinct was to reward myself with food. So I said, okay, I'm going to reward myself. I'm going to go get my nails done. I didn't go yesterday to get them done. I had to tutor somebody. So after I tutored them, it gets dark earlier. Those were my excuses. But I did stop at the store and I got a candy bar and a bag of chips. And I'm processing all of this as I'm doing it. I'm saying, why are you rewarding yourself with food because you've lost 9.6 pounds and it's food that you shouldn't be eating? I don't know if anybody has ever had that type of experience, but as I was doing that, I still bought it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I ate some of the chips, but they didn't hit. This is what I wanted to talk about with that whole dopamine thing in the GLP-1. They didn't hit like they normally hit. And I bought
Mm-hmm.
kettle chips too. It
That
did, they
taste
didn't.
bud change.
Yes, those taste buds had changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't bring them upstairs in my room. I put them in the pantry. hopefully,
Good for
hopefully.
you. That's a non-scale victory. Good for you.
I
Good
was
for
like,
you.
thank you. I said, somebody in this house will eat them. They'll eat them before I can get back to them. Now the chocolate candy bar, Aldi's has this little chocolate bar that has pretzels and it's not super sweet. But yep, I did get one of those. And normally I would eat that. I would eat something like that in a day. Okay.
Well,
But
because
I'm
you were
still,
out and about, Miss Kim, you were out and about and you weren't near at home where your food is. So you just had to grab something.
but you know what? It wasn't even about that. It was an old habit that I was not ready to break. And I had to acknowledge that within myself, even
Gotcha.
though I did it anyway. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It was just, as they say, old habits die hard.
Yes,
But
they
for
do.
me, the fact that I acknowledged it, number one, that was a non-scale victory. The fact that I'm talking myself through it as I'm doing it. And then the fact that like I said, the chips didn't get the same reward. So I left them in the pantry. Candy bar, I'm still holding on to that. I didn't eat the whole thing in a day. So I
Okay.
feel like it was a win, but I
It
was like,
is. It's a
thank you.
win. It's a win because I ate that whole Snicker bar that I stopped and got at the store that day. I pulled over in traffic. It was gonna be hard for me to get out of the parking lot, and I still went over there and got that Snicker bar.
Listen, I
Sure
can
did.
relate, but I made up my mind today. I was like, you will not reward yourself with food. You are going to go, because I hadn't been getting my nails done in a while. I was just like, let them rest, from them filing them so much. So I went and got my nails done today. That was my reward to myself for losing, the weight. I was like, you're not going to give it all to food. You're going to have to do something else and start that process. Let's see. Let's see. Felicia says, I will always aspire to be as strong as you, Harjarene. Kim J says, yes, Harjarene, recovering, healing, growing, overcoming. Praise God. Felicia
Praise God.
says, yes, Kim J, praise God. Kim J says, congrats, Queen, on a non-scale victory, a win for sure. So proud of you. Yeah, well, thank you. And I think the exercise has definitely helped because I've been moving,
Yes, ma'am.
moving more.
Yes, ma'am. So you forgot to bring that up in there. That extra, you moving. You moving too.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's what my doctor, my nurse practitioner has been saying. Like, I need you to get your heart rate up. That's what I need you to do. I will say, as far as energy is concerned, when I drink that ginger, pineapple, and lemon, when I make
Mm-hmm.
that concoction and drink it, that gives me like a move around the house type, energy. And it's really, really good.
I keep
Let's
saying I'm
see.
going to try that, and I hadn't tried it yet.
Miss Toy says sometimes you are secretly afraid to let the old you go.
That's true.
So you self-sabotage yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why you're struggling with letting your old habits go. But I'm proud of you to recognize what is happening. What was happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Self-sabotage is a real thing in my journal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because it's like you say, for whatever reason, it's old, it's comfortable, and it gives that, those dopamines or whatever they say that they are. It gives those out. Let's see. Less dopamine equals less cravings. Food that used to excite you now feel just okay. The medication helps reduce overeating by calming food reward signals. Like, who knew that we had food reward signals? Which is why, if you get off the medication, those reward signals come back. That's a real thing.
It is a real
Which,
thing.
Harjarene, which
Uh-oh, you froze. She froze. That's right, Daria. Uh-oh. Paging low carb queen. Yeah. Oh, her phone died. Her phone died. Uh-oh, Kim, you got to help me out. Kim says it's on me. Here she go, right on time. Right on
okay.
time. Kim was just telling me that I got to entertain them. You right on time.
I'm like, how did that happen? I was not paying attention. So, okay, let's see. Harjarene, when did you start with 15? That's a question.
She wants to wait for me to see my kidney specialist. I got an appointment on the 11th, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you so much for being here. We are at the almost at the hour and a half mark. I know the time is different. You said this is your bedtime, so I don't want to keep you up too long. This has been phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Thank
And I
you for
love your
having me.
earrings.
Thank you. Thank you. I like yours too. I was looking at yours. I had to come with the earrings. I knew you was going to have on yours.
This has absolutely been phenomenal. Harjarene, Kim J says, do you have anything else to add about?
Just take it one day at a time, Kim. That's all we can do is take it one day at a time.
I know that's right. One
One day
day
at a time.
at a time. That's well
And
said.
only one day at a time. That's how I wake up. Now, every day that I hit the ground, that's my day. I don't know if that's am I echoing. Yeah, it is. One day at a time, Kim. That's all we can do. Not 2 days, one day at a time. and believe in yourself. Give yourself a little bit more credit that you're stronger than you think you are. And then I also go by, you can do anything twice but die. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. You can do anything twice but die. Is that my microphone, Darian, or is that Kim's microphone? Let's see if Kim can come back. Low Car Queen can come back. If she can't, send you home. Okay. We can do anything twice but die. So as long as you can do anything twice, you got a chance. Thank you all for coming in. Have a great night. I appreciate all the love. Good night.